What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 47 of Dispersing the Cloud. This is about, I think, my fourth video I've done not live. This is after my second week of work on the fires. I told you last week, again, these aren't live, so I said in my last video that this one wouldn't, this is the second week that I've gone this year without reading a book. The first week of the fires was extremely intense, doing 12-hour days, and reading was difficult. The second week was equally as difficult just because I was kind of drained from the first, and mentally just trying to get around everything. It was very difficult for me to take the time to read. The drive down there is about an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes back. Plus I'm working 10-hour days. Oh yeah, we switched from 12-hour days to 10-hour days, which gave me a little bit more time. And I used those extra 2 hours to kind of catch up a little bit on some ins and outs that I need to do to kind of get this thing, to prepare for my move to Missouri, and all of that jazz. Yeah, so I'll just kind of recap this week. Some things are changing as far as the job stuff goes. We worked through Thanksgiving, obviously, a couple weeks ago, but they switched us over to 10-hour days. Something to do with contract changes, and we're shutting down. We're shutting down next week. I actually didn't work Saturday. I didn't work Sunday. I actually got to play music. I got to go out Saturday night and hang out with my nephews, and then Sunday morning I played music for a church here in Ukiah that my brother and his wife attend. So it's been 3 weeks since I played music or done anything like that, so it was nice to hop back on the piano, get to play, get to sing. So that was pretty awesome. A couple things. Let me actually show you guys something. So this coming week, I'm not gonna have much going on because we're not working. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of capitalize on my free time. That way when we go back to work, I can use those extra 2 hours. If we're doing 10-hour days, we're doing 10-hour days, I can use those extra hours to bust out projects that I have. So I had my assets and liabilities board brought up, and I had my pegboard brought up so I could get all my projects down and kind of an itinerary, get back to, if we're shut down for 2 weeks, I have to make money. I have to continue doing the stuff that I do. And so I think I got through, looks like about 15 projects that I had going on when I started the fire job. And this is like the dungeon that I've been staying in, my brother's dungeon. I got a bed in here and whatnot, but it's not been rough, and it's a little cold at night. But other than that, it's pretty legit. So if we're shut down for a couple weeks, like this week, I got on the horn on Sunday and I started making some phone calls and got a couple production gigs for this coming week where I'm going to be stagnant. I'm not going to have firework, but I am going to be able to be working on a couple productions out in San Francisco, and the drive to San Francisco is roughly about the same for me, so it's not going to matter too much. And I'm hoping to get a book in this week, because again, last week I didn't. So that's been going on, and I actually made a lot of progress. Sunday, it's Monday right now, so I'm a little behind. But I made a lot of progress on some projects today. I'm setting it up to where I could possibly doing some wrestling lessons with a couple extra hours. One of the biggest concerns I had for taking this fire job was me not having time to work out. It's been about 12 weeks now. 12 weeks ago, I decided that I was going, I had been kind of easing back into lifting and really like trying to get my body back to responding, because it's been 4 years since I really lifted heavy and all that. And my biggest concern was, man, I've been in it for 10 weeks. If I start this fire job, I'm going to be working 12-hour days. Am I going to have time to work out? And honestly, I sacrificed some book reading to make sure that I didn't lose any of my fitness gains. And for this very short period of time that I'm going to be working the fires, probably for 3 or 4 months, I want to sacrifice some reading to make sure that I don't lose that, because I'm finally back in shape and feeling just amazing. I got my squat back up to like 240, and my bench is over 200 again, and so I'm feeling and looking again like I did when I was a personal trainer, and I just feel better, you know. And so if I can maintain that and sacrifice a little bit of the hardcore reading, just at least for December, for the end of this year, and then get some normalcy with my fire routine and my schedule, I have my fingers crossed that I'm gonna be able to carry this through till March. Obviously, I have that worship position in Missouri that I'm starting in January, but the plan is to shoot them a proposal in a couple weeks of me doing one Sunday for January, one Sunday for February, 2 Sundays for March and April, and then being there full time in May. So that's the proposal. I don't know if they're going to go for it, but the amount of money that I'm able to make doing these fires, I will pull myself out of 100% out of debt, and I will be in a better position than when I was 3 years ago when I quit my job. I should have all my debt paid off. I'll own a home, and I'll have a couple grand in the bank. I think my car will be paid off too. I did all the math on it. And on my days off, Saturday and Sunday, I sat down and just crunched numbers all day, just so I could get a handle on my time frame, what I need to accomplish this week on my week off, which is, you saw the board. I got 15 projects that are just sitting there needing me to finish them, honestly, in this week. Not finish them, but like get them moving, because I'm going to disappear the rest of December. If the fires go back on, the fire cleanup goes back on, then I'm going to be back to 10s or 12s, and I'm not going to have a lot of time, especially if I'm trying to squeeze in an hour of lifting every single day. And so that's kind of been my biggest push for these couple of days that I've had off, is to try to get focused up and really start tackling some of these things that I have to do in order to sustain some of the projects the irons that I have in the fire. You know, the idea of Operation Double Down for me, getting a real job and doubling my income. The idea was it would be a 9 to 5, you know, and 8 hours a day, and I would have plenty of time to do all the other things that I want to do, and I would and I will, especially when I get to Missouri. One of the things that's kind of appealing to Missouri, if I'm working from 7 to 3, let's say I can take this construction job that I have doing fires, and I can move it over, even if it's manual labor, and I'm going 7 to 3. California time, that's 1 o'clock. So basically I'm starting my work day at 1 o'clock California time, and all my contacts here that I have and all the projects that I'm working on here really gives me a good 4 hours to knock out some work here, again California time, and then be done by 7 or 8 o'clock Missouri time, and knock out and ready to go again. So I should have plenty of time. It kind of gives me more time by being in Missouri. It works out weird. And I really just think that's a God thing, him hooking it up for making all this work out. Today I had an interview with a church, The Crossing, in Missouri. That's kind of like the number 1 church that I want to work for out there. After all, I researched all of them. I'm pumped about working for the Memorial Methodist Church that I'm working for in Farmington. but that's a part-time job. Again, I'm looking for a full-time job, hopefully with the crossing. So there's not a lot that I have as far as book stuff and ways to help you guys out with information that I'm gaining, from dispersing the cloud, so to speak. But a couple things that I kind of wanted to touch on. This is actually from one of the sermons from the crossing. When risk is used, when you apply risk to your life using a foundation of biblical principle, it is actually a spiritual discipline. During this process, it has been extremely difficult for me to explain to other people why I'm doing what I'm doing and how insane it sounds. I'm in the middle of it. Like, I know it sounds insane. I'm going to drop everything and move to Missouri, to a place where I really don't know anybody, and just relocate my entire life and leave my family and all the above. The story was actually about Abraham, and when God told him to go and leave, he didn't tell him where. He said, "I'll tell you on the way." I don't know if I'm going to end up in Missouri for good, but I feel like I need, like I said before, I need deep, deep waters. I need to get out of my comfort zone, and it's already coming to fruition. As soon as I committed to doing this, I started putting away, again, richest man in Babylon, started putting away 10% of my money and really committing to that, paying myself first, and praying for a financial solution to get me out to Missouri, because I felt like I'm supposed to go, but there's no, I was 30 grand in debt and no way to get out there, and God hooked it up. This fire cleanup job I was making great money when I quit my job, and I'm making like more than double than that. So this will, no joke, be, when I do quit, this will be the second six-figure job that I quit in the last 5 years. So that's a little weird, but I feel like God's putting these things in my path as tools to do some things and put me in the places that He wants, and grow me in the way that He wants. And I know this episode is way more talk about God than the other stuff that I normally do. We normally don't do spirituality. We do business. We do real estate. We do personal growth. And but I think spirituality is part of personal growth. I'm a very spiritual person myself. You guys know I do Christian contemporary music ministry before I quit that and started doing chaos fire nonsense and moving to Missouri. But that's a huge part of my life, and I think when we are honest with ourselves, we can see spirituality around us a lot in the things that we do, if we're open to it, if we're open to listening, if we're open to seeing the different things that are put in front of us and the opportunities that are put in front of us for us to capitalize on. I don't take any credit for the job that I have right now. It's fun to say. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to say, oh yeah, I got a six-figure job, and I quit it. I'm going to quit it, just like I quit my last six-figure job. I didn't get that one on my own either. Every job that I had that was great money, it was God hooking me up with it, and I was there for a short period of time for a short purpose, and then He moves me on and out of it. Selling graves for Dignity Memorial is not what I was meant to do. Cleaning up fires is not what I am meant to do. But those are things that they're tools. Money's a tool, a job's a tool, and it just reconfirms the fact that making money in America is one of the easiest things to do. If you are willing to do whatever it takes to make money, it is one of the easiest things to do. This wasn't easy, quote unquote. I had to take a 40-hour class online, right? And you guys know I'm dyslexic, so I did a 40-hour class online, and I knocked it out in like 4 or 5 days. So that's 8 hours a day on a computer listening to some guy, some audible thing, 8 hours a day, and taking notes. that's intense. That's a full-time job, and then having to having like go make some money on the side too. While I'm doing that, I had a couple productions, and I to do that while trying to make money was rough. And then I had to spend $1,000. It was $350 for the class, and then $835 to get into to the union so I could actually do the job. And so I was a grand in, but I literally was sold out. I said I'm willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish the goal that's in front of me. And man, making money in America is really easy if you have no excuses. And I don't think it's any coincidence that this entire year I've been busting my butt and reading books and trying to gain more information and trying to learn about all these different avenues of marketing and research and real estate and self-development and leadership and sales and everything, to know how to move in and out of a game plan to get me from point A in California with no connections to Missouri to point B in Missouri, owning a home, out of debt, with a full-time job. And I love Red Pill Studio, a studio out there, you know, that I can work out of and I can play. I actually got off the phone with my buddy David, and I'm going to take Fragoza Media, at least the music side of it, and I think we're going to try to merge that into Atmosphere, which is another media company. And I'll have some business partners now, working on music, working on a label, working on their Kingdom album, and all the above. And I don't think any of that's a coincidence. I said, I think in episode like, I don't know, 15, 20 weeks in, I jokingly said, I don't know if I'll make $1 million by the end of this year, but I feel like I'll have a better handle on my life at the end of this year. I'm 4 weeks away, and I can say it because we're not live, you know. If it doesn't work out, I can always delete this video. I'm 4 weeks away from the end of the year. I don't know if I'll reach 60 books, right, because of the amount that I'm working. But I've read over 50 books this year, and I can honestly say I have a much better understanding of how the world works, how to move in and out of industry, how to make money, how to save money, how to use that money to my advantage, and when to jump on opportunities and when not to jump on opportunities. Some of the hardest months that I've been through have been the last couple, and I've said that almost in every video, the last like 3 or 4 videos. It's been incredibly hard with personal hardships and having to do with my family. And for those of you who don't know, my mom isn't doing well, but man, we all, like, I'm not the only one. And so as hard as it is to make it through those things, I have to remind myself that I'm not going through it alone. I'm not the only person who's going through these. And man, you just really do have to suck it up and get through. And for me, I believe that God pulls me through those things. When I ask for his help, he drags me through the mud, so to speak, to make me better, to make me stronger, to make me a better man, literally. So I wish I had more for you guys other than that for this week, but really this week has really just been trying to make all these things happen. This coming week I have 2 productions, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. I'm hoping to get back on Fire Stuff Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, fingers crossed. I mean, I'd love to be back to work on Saturday and being able to keep this income that's coming in, that's just ridiculous coming in. I already paid off 2 of my credit cards, and I have 2 more to go. I should pay off the next one next week. And then if we keep working, the next one the following week. By the end of December, I'll be debt free, regardless of the house, regardless of paying off my car. All my credit card debt will be gone in less than 3 weeks. So this coming week is going to be pretty awesome for me to catch up on the My Invisible Friend book. I'm trying to get watercolorist to redo the water art because it's not big enough. The owl, there's an owl on our car book that we should release mid-December. I'm hoping. I just talked to the artist. We're just working on a title page and we're pretty much done. We're going to release Secrets, which is a song that I wrote through this last 2-month struggle. That is super powerful to me, and it's been a huge strength to me too, and I'm glad I went through the struggle, because then I wouldn't have the song if I didn't. Release another song that we're currently working on with Atmosphere, called By Your Side. So I have them working on that, and I'm building a couple websites right now as well, trying to knock those out this week. I am shutting down, I think I came to the conclusion today, I'm shutting down Her Something Blue wedding planning. I don't plan weddings. I don't do flowers. I haven't really been able to find, there's one more person that was supposed to call me either today or tomorrow that might want to take it over, but I gotta let that one go. And it's a bummer because it really could have been something, and I'll probably revisit that wedding planning industry once things chill out a little bit for me in Missouri, once I get settled. So I'll definitely jump back to that. But you know, I think it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I said failure is like salt in your food. You know, if you don't have any failure, the food is bland. If you have too much, it ruins the meal. I think I'm sprinkling just enough failure in, just enough success to, you know, make my story a good one and learn a lot from those mistakes, and get better in my business deals going further. But I'm pumped about 2018. It's going to be different state. I'm not going to know anybody. Just kind of trusting that God knows what he's doing with his crazy ideas. And, you know, it might just be getting out of my comfort zone, getting to Missouri for a little bit, and then not staying there. I don't know how it's going to play out. I have no clue, and that's kind of what makes it exciting. That's all I got for you guys today. It's actually not too short of a video for me just rambling on, 22 minutes. Just a lot of thoughts in my head right now, just because so much is changing for me in the next couple months. I stopped stroking my beard. It's no longer there. That's kind of funny. I was doing that for a while. My nephew still knows who I am, so I'm a happy camper. I will talk to you guys next week. I am going to try to get a book in. I just got a notification from audible.com that I have a voucher. So I'm going to hop on there. I'm going to pick a book, something under 10 hours. I'm going to try to knock it out. And I'm pretty sure I can find something that will be just as interesting. Well, Freakonomics was pretty awesome that I did last week for you guys. So I don't know if I'll find something as interesting as that, but I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, peace.